Okay, I have another question from Wade that's in kind of in relation to this. But how does he asked this? How does the Western Wall fit in with Matthew 24:2?
Okay. Matthew 24:2 is where Jesus was talking to the disciples. In verse 1 of that passage, it says, Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came up to him to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said to them, do you not see all these things? Assuredly, I say to you, not one stone shall be left here upon another that shall not be thrown down. And I'm presuming that Wade's question is, if that's true, then why are the stones left standing one upon another? Number one, the only stones that are left standing there from the time of the destruction of the temple go about halfway up. If you take a good look at the Western Wall and look at the stones, the largest ones are down on the bottom, and those were the ones that were put there by Herod. And so the smaller ones are stones that were either found in the rubble and put back up, or they're stones that come from other areas. And you can see that really clearly when you look at the Western Wall. So first point is that a lot of those stones were knocked down in the first place, but not every one. In this passage, what Jesus says is not that the stones that are part of the, what would you call it? That was a platform that was built, that the buildings were built on. And so those stones are the same type of stones that we use for landscaping, basically. They're, it's a retaining wall. It's not talking about, Jesus wasn't talking about retaining walls in this passage. What he was talking about, buildings. What he was talking about was buildings. So again, let me read it to you. It says, then Jesus went out and departed from the temple. His disciples came up to him to show him the buildings of the temple, not the retaining walls. And he says, do you not see all these things? Assuredly, I say to you, not one stone shall be left here upon another that shall not be thrown down. And so that literally came to pass with the buildings of the temple, and not only the buildings of the temple, but literally the buildings in the whole city were knocked down. There were only a few walls that were left up by the Romans, and a couple of towers that were left at the end, so that people could see the extents of the city and how great it was, and how the Romans flattened the place. And so not only did the Romans go after the buildings that were on the temple like Jesus prophesied, but literally they knocked down some of the retaining wall too. So it's a bonus. It's not a minus.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, Wade, thanks for posting. Hopefully that answers your question.